Hi, my name is Franklin Nolan. Today's date is September 9th, 2015. This is the waiver of Section 204 Alpha of the Congressional Budget Act with respect to consideration of S-1522, the 95th Congress, First Session, Senate Calendar Number 288, Report Number 95309, Docket 95/1, SRPT 309. June 28th, legislation date May 18th, 1977, ordered to be printed. Mr. Musicki, the Committee on the Budget, submitted the following report to accompany S-Res 202. The Committee on Budget, to which was referred to the resolution Senate 202, waived Section 402 Alpha of the Congressional Budget and Impounded Control Act of 1974 with respect to consideration of S-1522, a bill authorizing to increase a fiscal year 1977 appropriations of $6 million for the Marine Mammal Protection Act. Having considered the same report favorable thereon, recommends the resolution to be agreed to. Purpose of the resolution: Section 402 Alpha of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974 provides that it shall not be in order in either the House or the Senate to consider any bill or resolution which directly or indirectly authorizes the enactment of new budget authority for fiscal year unless that budget or resolution is reported in the House or Senate as case may be, or before May 15th proceeding and beginning of such fiscal year. Because Senate 1522, which authorizes enactment of new budget authority which would become unavailable in fiscal 1977, was reported by a Committee on Commerce, Science and Transportation on June 22nd, 1977 on resolution waiving Section 402 Alpha of the Budget Act with respect to S-1522 must be adopted before this bill can be considered by the Senate. In reporting favorable on the resolution, the Budget Committee is simply recommending that the Senate proceed to consideration of S-1522 and is not prejudging the material of the bill. Committee criteria: the Budget Committee is extremely reluctant to recommend the adoption of the resolution waiving Section 402 Alpha of the Budget Act. This section is included in the Budget Act to ensure that all authorizing legislation is considered as far as possible as advance of the fiscal year in which it takes effect, so that it could be considered in the formulation of the first concurrent resolution. In addition, this section was included to provide an Appropriations Committee with some reasonable notice of indeed appropriation for the coming fiscal year, so that the Appropriation Committee can meet the appropriations timetable spelled out in the Budget Act. Legislation authorizing the enactment of the new budget authority, which is reported to the Senate after May 15th, could delay the enactment of appropriation bills past the Budget Act deadline of 7 days after Labor Day. For the completion of the entire appropriations process, the legislation history of Budget Act indicates that May 15th reporting deadlines is not to be lightly waived. Under these circumstances, the Budget Committee, in addition whether to favorably report resolutions waiving Section 402 Alpha of the Budget Act, will consider favors including the reporting committee's effort to meet the May 15th deadline, the delay in appropriations process endangered by the delayed reporting of authorization, and whether the enactment of the authorization will significantly affect the national priorities established in the congressional budget. Budget implications: S-1522 authorizes an additional $16 million in fiscal year 1977 and a total of $15.3 million in fiscal year for 1978 for the Marine Mammal Protection Act. It is the authorization for fiscal year 1977 funds after May 15th, 1976, that necessitates a waiver resolution. The additional $6 million in budget authority and $5.8 million in outlays for fiscal year 1977 could be accommodated with the functional 300 ceiling of the third concurrent budget resolution. According to the Committee on Commerce, Science and Transportation, and additional fiscal 1977 funds are needed to meet the expanded responsibilities mandated by the federal court decisions of August 6, 1976, that found that the Department of Commerce had failed to enforce Marine Mammal Protection Act adequately. The additional money would cover the cost of placing observers on large tuna boats to collect much needed data on proposed mortality of the porpoises population levels. $1 million of the additional authorized funds has already been provided in the spring supplemental appropriations bill. Because the need for the additional fiscal year 1977 funds did not arise until after May 15, 1976, and because the amounts involved will not significantly affect the fiscal year 1976 budget ceiling and can be accommodated in supplemental appropriations bill, the Budget Committee reports favorably on Senate Resolution 202 and recommends that it be adopted. SR 309. A waiver of Section 402 Alpha of the Congressional Budget Act with respect to considerations of S 1522. This is the 9th Congressional First Section, Senate Calendar Number 289, Report Number 95309, Docket 95/1, SRPT 309. Hope you had a good Labor Day weekend. Today's date is September 9th, 2015.